What is going on, guys? Bain from REX Digital. In this video, we're going to be talking about SEO for landscapers, kind of what it is, what is involved in it, and why you should be using it to your advantage, right? So let's just start with a little bit of a preface here. So 4 to 5 years ago, maybe it was debatable whether or not having a strong online presence was necessary to grow and scale your business. And again, traditionally in the trades and in local service-based businesses, word of mouth and more boots on the ground, physical location-based marketing, door knocking, yard signs, door hangers, postcards, all of that stuff, right? Which we love those. Those are great things to do. They're awesome, and you should be doing those things as well. But when it comes to today's age, and I'm filming this video in 2024, if you're watching this video in the future, everything that I'm about to say probably applies to you even more, right? But in today's society and the way things are going and the direction things are headed in, you absolutely, it's not even a negotiable at this point. You need to have a digital presence, right? Now, here's the thing. There are people out there that are going to tell you that you need to be on social media and you need to be posting videos and you need to, be on Facebook and Instagram and all these things and be active in making all this stuff. And while I agree, again, kind of in a similar sense to like the yard signs and, the physical marketing stuff as well, you should be doing social media, right? But not for the reasons that people are telling you. Social media is great for building a brand. And basically, if you want to boil this down, a brand just means people know you, they like you, and they trust you, right? So if you have a social media profile and someone stumbles across it and they're in your area and they're looking for a landscaping company, or maybe you have gone to do an estimate for someone and then, you give them your quote and they're like, hey, let me check these guys out a little more. Let me do my research. Let me do my due diligence. And if they pull up your social media and they look at your pictures, that's great. That's awesome. You have something there, something to for them to see. That's great. They're also probably going to take a look at your website. And this is where, honestly, I think I would put a little more focus and a little more emphasis if you're going to take the time, the effort, and potentially the money as well to invest in something. Again, I'm not shitting on social media. I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing it. However, I think a lot of guys think that they need to be out there taking pictures and videos and all of this stuff every single day. And again, if you have the time and the resources to do it, you absolutely should. And you're going to need good pictures and videos and stuff for your website most of the time anyway. But I think a lot of guys think that there's more pressure on them to be posting on social media than there necessarily is. You should have a profile. You should have it set up. You should have it linking to your website, which is something we'll talk about as far as like SEO strategy goes. But generally speaking, the thing that the big overarching theme that I want to talk about when it comes to investing in these things, right? Because in my business and also in my personal life, when it comes to finance and investments and all of that stuff, I hate taking my money and putting it into something that is not going to pay me forever. I'm really, really big on building assets, building tangible things that whatever work gets done to them will continue to pay me for a long time, right? So maybe you see your business like this. Maybe you look at your landscaping business as something that you're in the field doing work now, but potentially could get to a point later on where, your business is its own entity and it's generating money and cash flow for you, for your family, whatever, right? So that's how I like to think of things. I really am big on building up my assets, right? Things that pay me over time, consistently, hopefully forever. And any work that I put into them is compounding, right? So let's bring this back to social media and SEO and landscaping, right? Because I know we kind of just went big picture there for a second, but I say all of that to say your website and your Google business profile, we're going to call this GBP or GMB. They've had a couple different names over the course of the past couple of years. So your website and your Google business profile, these two things right here are assets for your company. And your social media profiles are too. But the thing about social media is I don't necessarily recommend doubling down on this unless you, again, have the time, money, and resources, which a lot of you probably don't right off the bat. This is something that like it's a luxury to be able to afford to have professional people doing videos and content and stuff for you. And if you're at that level, kudos, that's great. That's awesome. Do it. But getting off the ground, um, your website and your Google business profile are the things that I would be investing into because they will pay you and your company for the long haul, right? Social media, you make a post, it's there, it shows up in a couple people's feeds, and then it's gone tomorrow, right? And without um, getting too far off the topic of websites, SEO, Google business profile stuff, this also kind of relates to Google ads and Facebook ads. Now, again, I don't want to take the piss out of these two things because I offer these services. I do run Google ads and I've seen pretty good success with it for clients. And I've seen people be successful with Facebook ads as well. And I offer both these services. I do both of these things for clients. And, you know, they're great, but I look at them more as like a supplementary thing. And if the client has the open-mindedness to listen to what I have to say and also has the budget for it, 9 times out of 10, I recommend starting with the Google business profile and the website first for these reasons. Like we just said, we want to build assets. We want to put money, effort, and time into something and have it compound and work for our business forever, right? Google ads, Facebook ads, and social media, the time, the effort, and the money that you put into them, as soon as you cut any of those things off, the value or the return on that goes away. If you stop paying Google and if you stop paying Facebook for the lead ads that you're running, guess what? Your leads disappear and they go away. And at the end of the day, if I'm going to be completely transparent with you, it's very easy to spend a lot of money on Google and Facebook and get a return on it. That is obviously the goal, but it takes time. And a lot of people have this expectation that is false that you can just turn on a Google or Facebook ad campaign and lose a bunch of money. And a lot of people have done it. They try to do it themselves and they get burned. And then they come to a marketing agency like myself and they say, hey, you know, F Google, F Facebook. I burnt a ton of money and now they have this sour taste in their mouth because they kind of didn't really know what they were getting into. And both of these things can serve as an absolute paper shredder for your dollar bills if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're going to run these two things, at least have it done by a professional so that at the end of the day, you know that either one, the liability is not on your hands and you don't have to feel guilty about putting your own money into the paper shredder. Because as a business owner, there's nothing more frustrating than making mistakes that cost you financially, right? Like for me, I can speak from, experience here running my own landscaping business, though that irks me, right? And even regardless of if you're watching this and you're not a landscaper, right? Still, it feels really bad when you take your dollar bills and throw them in the fire, right? And you know what was happening when you did it. That sucks. So we want to avoid that. And one of the most efficient, surefire ways to take your marketing budget and put it into something where you can at least feel secure and confident that you're not throwing it in the fire in the paper shredder is to invest in an asset like your website or your Google business profile. The difference between either one of these two things and Facebook or Google ads, and again, I do these things too. And if clients come to me and they say they want to do them, I will not turn them away, right? But we make it very clear that, hey, both of these two things, we can do this and it's going to work and that's fine, but be prepared for a little bit of time before we start to, really lock these in. And there's also always the risk that maybe there's just not a ton of search volume, or maybe I'm starting to steer away from Facebook a little bit more, only because you really need good content. And again, okay, I'll just be completely honest with you, right? Here's my thing with Facebook ads. People are not on Facebook to find their landscaper. They're on there to consume content. They're in the dopamine wasteland, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and they're not giving you the time of day. If you want to run Facebook ads, you have to have really, really good, eye-catching, scroll-stopping content if you want to have success with it, or at least be extremely profitable with these types of ads, right? Now, Google, the only thing that I'm going to ask you is when you search for anything on Google and the very two top spots, you see that it says ad. How many times have you clicked on those when you were looking for something? You might have clicked on them by accident, and whether or not you knew it or not, you actually cost that company money by doing that. But that's the thing, right? Paid advertisement is great for exposure, great for brand awareness. It's great as a supplement. And by supplement, I mean as an add-on to an already working system. So there is a lot of traffic, there's a lot of leads, there's a lot of customers to be had if you can leverage the two organic search results in Google, which is the websites and the Google business profile. And to just kind of give you an idea of what this looks like, when you pull up search results, you type in landscaper near me, right? The first two things right here, these are Google ads. Underneath that, you've got the Google map pack with the 3 profiles. This is where the money's at right here. You really want this. And then below that are the first couple website listings, right? Now, this is also a great place to be. You really want to be ideally in both of these two things. But, the money is right here. And then the additional money is down here in these first like 2 or 3 top listings, right? Because 80% of traffic on Google, at least for local search businesses like landscaper near me, plumber near me, stuff like that, it's on mobile. So people on their phones, and those devices tend to click in the Google map pack. Most of them, they'll check the websites out as well, or there'll be a link to your website here, and people will click on to the Google business profile and then make their way to their website after that. But having the website in the organic search results here is also very beneficial, right? So keep that in mind. Your clients, your customers, most of them are on their phones. They're clicking on the Google business profile and then making their way to their website, or they're calling you directly from here. And these two positions is really where most of the traffic lands. Like I said, think back to a time, and if you can remember one, I'd be impressed, that you clicked on a Google ad thinking, hey, I want to click on this advertisement because I know this person is paying to be shown here, you know what I mean? And got the result that you wanted. A lot of times these ad campaigns are great, and I recommend doing them because some people are just looking for that click, that first quick, what's at the top. They don't even look, they don't pay any mind to it, and they click over to it, right? But I'm a much bigger fan of capturing as much of the organic traffic as possible. These are the people with the highest intent. These are the people that are going to convert at the highest rate because they clicked on your website willingly. For one, they chose you. You didn't pay to be in front of them. And then on top of that, the intention was there. They were looking for landscaper near me. They looked at your profile. They looked at your website. They said, hey, these guys are showing up at the top. They must be good. I'm going to click on them. I'm going to fill out the form. I'm going to give them a call and see what they can do to help me, right? The intention is there. They've made the decision to contact you. And so being just in these positions is going to set you way farther ahead than any paid advertising is going to do, right? Let's talk more about how you can get your assets, your Google business profile in this case, and your website in this case, to get into those positions, right? Now, I'll do a full video breaking down the different factors that Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever search engine, but let's focus on Google for now because it's probably the most popular one, right? Most of you guys are on Google when you're searching for stuff yourself, and it's pretty safe to say that 99% of your clients are going to find you on Google as well. The Google business profile and the websites, there's factors that Google looks at, there's indicators, there's signals that Google uses, and Google has an algorithm. Just like any other social media platform, there's a code, there's a system. Google has, metrics and signals and things that it looks at to determine what placement your website and your Google business profile is going to get in these search results, right? And there's things, because it's an algorithm, because it's a system, we can reverse engineer this. We can show Google what it wants to see, and we can kind of not trick the system, but do the right things so that Google can look at your website or your profile and say, hey, this is a great candidate. Based on the things that we look for, they're showing all of the right signs of being that top business that we want to show people to. Now, this is a big thing to consider as well. Think about Google and what their business is. They are looking for the best result to show people that are searching for something so that they don't have to search it again. Google wants to deliver the best result for any question, any query, whatever you enter into that search bar. Google wants you to enter that, find what you are looking for, and not have to search it again, right? So that's one of the many, many signals and things that we could talk about when it comes to SEO metrics and stuff like that, which is bounce rate. People that search landscaper near me, they click on your website and they say, this isn't it. And then they click off. That's going to hurt your website. That's a whole other, again, another video talking about the specific things that Google's looking for. But really what we want to do is we want to show Google the right things to get your website and your Google business profile. into these places, right? So how do we go about doing that? Well, again, another video, there's a whole slew of things that have to happen for your website to even be considered to be in one of these top spots and to get your Google business profile up here as well. But some actionable things that you can do today, right, as the business owner for completely free. This is all stuff that you can set up and do on your own. If you don't have a website yet, I would recommend getting one professionally built. Not that I don't think you can do it. I know there's a lot of DIY guys out there that are like, hey, I don't necessarily have a huge budget to invest right now. That's fine. And, they get their website, their Wix, their Squarespace, their, whatever site set up, and it's fine. But most of the time, those have to be redone at some point when you start to get serious about this stuff and you realize, hey, I have a website, but it's on the third page of Google and it doesn't get any clicks or any traffic, and I don't have anything to really show for it. I need something better. So they end up upgrading eventually. That's fine. But your Google business profile, however, is something that you can set up completely on your own. It's completely free to do. And you can also start getting reviews. You can start posting pictures on it. You can start doing all of the right things to kind of signal and get those triggers to move it up a little bit higher in its search results, right? So there you go. There's some actionable steps you can take right now. Number one, set up your Google business profile. You do this with a Gmail account. It's completely free. All you got to do is go to Google. I think if you just type into search, like Google My Business, get your business, get listed on Google. Click this link right here, follow the steps. It'll show you exactly what you need to do. Fill out the appropriate categories and do the verification stuff. You'll be good to go, right? A lot of other things can happen later on down the line in this process. But for now, all you need to know is go to this link, and get your Google business profile set up. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're considering SEO, looking for SEO, you already have this thing set up. That would be ideal. 2, get some reviews. And then 3, I know that we already talked about social media and how it's not something you need to be posting on like crazy, but you should still have the essential profiles set up. And I'm going to tell you why, right? And the big ones would be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, depending on, if you know what that is or not. That name could probably change in the future too. And then maybe if you have time, like Pinterest, Reddit, stuff like that. And the reason for this is because we want Google to create what's called an entity. And an entity is just a person, a place, a thing, something that is recognized in Google. We want Google to say, if someone searches your company name, your website, your Google business profile, your social media profiles, all of these things are going to show up when someone types your business's name into Google, right? So we have to basically get Google to recognize your business as a entity, as a business, right? And that's going to help a lot too. So that's where the social media things, the profiles really come into play. That's why I think it's important to have them, not necessarily for the posting and the content and using them to generate leads or clients, but really just to make sure that Google knows you exist and that Google recognizes your business as an entity and as a real thing, right? So those things alone, these 3 steps here, the Google business profile, get some reviews on it, and then build the social media profiles for your business. This is going to help you a lot when it comes to your SEO and standing out on Google. It's going to help get your brand recognized and help potentially push you up a little bit in these rankings. Now, let's kind of just go back to the SEO side of things. I know this video has been kind of ranty and all over the place, but I hope that you've gotten some value on it. I didn't really have a plan or a script for this one. I'm kind of just going off the top. So bear with me. Again, I hope you've found some of this valuable and insightful at least. But to string all of this back together, and this is actually a good segue. I'm glad I said that. When you build your Google business profile, you only have to do it once. When you build your social media profiles, you only have to do it once. If you build your website correctly, or if you have a professional do it, you only have to do it once. So again, the time, the effort, and the money that you put into those assets, you do a lot of hard work once, you spend the money once, and then once the work is done, it's done, right? So this is why I'm a big fan of building up websites, building up Google business profiles, because the money that's spent, the work that gets done on your website, it can't be undone, right? If you pay Google $1,000 for paid ads and no one clicks on it, that $1,000 is gone. if you spend $1,000 to get a good website, if you spend $1,000 a month or whatever on SEO, the services that are rendered on your website can't be undone. The content that's built, the links that are built, all of these things that are used to push your website up, those can't be undone, right? And typically, SEO it's a long-term thing. It's an ongoing process. But the reason why I like it so much is because if we manage to push your website up in search results and certain rankings, yes, it takes maintenance to keep it there, but once it's there, it's pretty much there, right? And unless your competitors are doing a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of things that go into keeping it in that top position, but it's a lot safer of a bet than saying, hey, Google, here's my money, do what you think is best and just show this to a bunch of people. And if I get anything from it, it's not really any, skin on, and they don't have any skin in the game, I guess, versus investing into your own assets and building those things up. The results, although they're not completely permanent, it's very hard to not have any return from that money. Like I said, you could throw your money into the Google or the Google or Facebook paper shredder and potentially not get anything from it, right? But anything that you put into the website or the Google business profile, this is going to serve those things for the long term, and that work can't be undone, right? So that's why it's much healthier to view these things as assets for your business, long-term, like lead generation, money producing, client producing assets for your business. And all the work that gets done on these things is it's going to serve you in the long run, right? So that's why I'm a big fan of doing SEO, especially for local service-based businesses. It's the number one thing. The intention is there. The people that are searching are actually looking for you. You're building it up over the long term, and it's very hard to take it away from you once you have it. And then on top of that, it's like, you can at least rest assured and sleep at night knowing that you didn't just spend $1,000 for nothing, and that there's work being done that's benefiting your company in the long run. All right. So I hope, again, you guys found some value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you'd like to learn more about how I can help you with your website, if you need one built from scratch, or if you have one, and you want to get it ranked in Google so you can generate more leads, phone calls, and good stuff like that, definitely check out the first link in the description. You can book a free one-on-one consultation with me. We'll kind of go through maybe some problems and struggles that you're having with your business, what we can do to solve that, and again, also how we can get you guys showing up in Google so that your clients can find you much, much easier. All right. Until next time, guys, I will catch you all later. Thank you for watching. Again, hope you found some value in this. Like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Peace.